Am I visible to both of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Screen is also visible, the white screen, right?
Yes, sir.
So our today's topic is going to be on photosynthesis. This is a class for 10th, right? And the chapter's name is nutrition. So in nutrition, Hindi आता है ना तुमको थोड़ा बहुत?
Yes, sir.
So in nutrition, you must have studied about the autotrophic and heterotrophic. दोनों पढ़ लिया था?
Yeah.
Mixotrophic पढ़ा?
No.
Mixotrophic is that form of nutrition in which an organism performs both auto and heterotrophic. Auto
So can you give an example?
so yeah, we are having the example of Euglena or the pitcher plant, the insectivorous plant. Insectivorous plants performs photosynthesis, right? But at the same time, it consumes insects. So it is heterotrophic as well as autotrophic. So we will be calling it as mixotrophic, right?
Okay.
In the same way, Euglena performs photosynthesis during the day and saprophytic nutrition during night. Saprophytic is surviving on dead and decaying organisms. Right. So here our main focus is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process. Photosynthesis is a process by means of which green organisms, say plants, they convert simpler raw materials like CO2 and H2O into complex substances like the glucose C6H12O6.
So,
Yes.
carbon dioxide and water both are inorganic, and glucose is an organic material. So, like
We can
whenever
say that it
auto,
converts inorganic substances into organic.
so it's always true. Like any autotrophic nutrition takes inorganics and converts it into organic. Is it true
Yeah,
for all?
because organic substances are those that will release energy when they are broken.
Okay.
Now the thing is, we can give one more definition, like it converts solar energy into chemical energy. It converts solar energy from sun into chemical energy, because we know energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be transformed, right, from sun to the chemicals that we are consuming. That's why we call sun as the ultimate source of energy, because if there is no sun, there is no photosynthesis, and if there is no photosynthesis, there is no life, right?
Yes.
Now talking about the photosynthesis, where does photosynthesis takes place? Photosynthesis
In
takes
the
place
leaf. The leaf.
in the chloroplast. It's a cell organelle. Chloroplast, it is usually present, or we can say it gives green color to the various things, various structures. So chloroplast can be present in leaves. It can be present in stem, that is the green stem, not that one having bark and everything. When the plant is like young, it's having green stem, right? So there the stem will also contain chloroplast. And there are some plants in which even the roots are roots are green also. So in some cases it can be doing this stuff in the roots also. but that are clear exceptions. So majority will be done in leaves and stems.
Yes, sir.
Now someone was saying me that will this only take place in mesophyll cells? No, it can take place in any cell. It can take place in any epidermal cell. If it is green, say we are having the guard cells, right?
Sir, so
So those
concentration of
guard
chloroplast in
that,
mesophyll is more.
huh?
Concentration of chloroplast in mesophyll is more.
Yeah, that is a different thing. But that never says it only will happen in those mesophyll cells. So these are the guard cells, right? That are guarding the chloroplast. Even they will perform photosynthesis. Even they will perform photosynthesis, right? Now talking about the photosynthesis, you know the reaction, huh? CO2 plus H2O
Yes, sir.
will give C6H12O6 plus oxygen in the waste form, gaseous, plus H2O. Now, if we start balancing this reaction, it is 6 times CO2, 12 times water, giving C6H12O6 plus 6 times oxygen plus 6 times water. This here is glucose. And when a large number of glucose molecule is formed, they will form starch. N times glucose is starch. Got it? Now, here the energy is utilized from the sun. You know the dual nature of sunlight. It has photons.
Sir, that means that starch can be written as like 2C6H12O6.
No, not 2, N. Because 2 times it is maltose.
Oh, okay. So it's a larger
Disaccharide.
So
number.
Starch is a
basically,
polysaccharide, right? So it has to be like thousands of molecules of glucose.
Oh,
polymer,
Mhm.
glucose polymer.
Yeah, we can say that. Starch. Even cellulose is a polymer of glucose, but we cannot break it in our body. That's why it's not giving us energy, it's the roughage.
Okay.
So sunlight is performing this type of reaction. Energy for this reaction is coming from sunlight. And this sunlight is trapped by a special form of molecule, chlorophyll. So what is the function of chlorophyll? That it
trap sunlight.
traps sunlight. Yes. So this was a simple thing, right? Simple reaction. Now we will go in detail. First of all, chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a light sensitive molecule. Light sensitive molecule. It is the only organic molecule in plants that contains magnesium. Chlorophyll will be having carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, plus magnesium also.
How does that help?
Magnesium is a vital part of it. How is it supposed to help? It helps in trapping energy, simple. By liberating electron. That electron thing we will study later. How is the electron thing going around?
Sir,
And I don't
although
think
it
it's in
has
your
magnesium,
syllabus.
although
But
it has
still,
magnesium, it's still called organic, right?
huh?
Although it has magnesium, it's still called organic.
Yeah, organics should have carbon, first of all, hydrogen and oxygen. These three things are there. The thing is organic. In the chemistry terms, you say carbon compounds are organic, but not every carbon compound. It should have carbon, hydrogen at least, and that too without double bonds. But if carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, all the three are present, it's going to be organic anyways.
Okay.
Got it? Now,
Yes, sir.
you know the chloroplast. Chloroplast is double
Yes.
membrane structure, right? It has these thylakoids in the form of grana, and the matrix present inside, we call it as stroma, grana and stroma. These two are responsible for photosynthesis. How? We will do that. Photosynthesis actually has two parts. We can divide photosynthesis into two parts: light reaction and
Dark reaction.
dark reaction, right? Light reaction and dark reaction. Now, what's the difference between the two?
One requires light and another does not require light.
Yeah, actually, the light reaction, it takes place in presence of light. That's why we call it as light dependent phase. Light dependent phase. We can also call it as light sensitive phase. We also call it as Hill's reaction.
So was it discovered by someone called Hill?
Yes. This is the first part of the reaction, and then after light reaction there is dark reaction. Dark reaction is also known as light independent phase. Light independent phase. We can also call it as C3 cycle. Why C3 cycle? There is an answer for that also that we will give later. C3 cycle. We can also call it as Blackman's reaction. We also call it as Kelvin cycle. We also call it as Kelvin-Benson cycle. There are many books that write it as CBB cycle also. Kelvin, Benson, and something named Benson or
Bassman.
something. I don't know the name. I don't remember the name. CBB cycle also. So Kelvin cycle, CB cycle, CBB cycle, Blackman reaction, C3 cycle, light independent phase. Whatever you like, you can give it.
So why are there so many names?
Due to various properties.
Okay.
Commonly called as Kelvin cycle or C3 cycle. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now, you remember the term grana in the chloroplast,
Yes, sir.
made up of thylakoids. This is responsible for light phase or light reaction. And the stroma, this is responsible for dark reaction. Light reaction and dark reaction. Done. Now, what happens in light reaction? First of all, the light reaction takes place in presence of chlorophyll. That means light reaction requires chlorophyll. And if it requires chlorophyll, where in the chloroplast is chlorophyll present?
Thylakoid.
Yes, in the thylakoids. Now what happens in light reaction is that there is photolysis of water. You know what is photolysis?
Yes, sir.
Breakdown of water in presence of sunlight or by the energy from sunlight. So here 2 times H2O is broken to form 4 protons plus 4 electrons plus oxygen. That means this oxygen is also released by the
Water.
water. So many people are confused in this case. They think that oxygen is a gas and has to be released by the carbon dioxide. But carbon dioxide here is not releasing. Wait a minute, someone is calling. I get lost. Okay. So this was something about light reaction. We will go in detail also for the light reaction if you want.
Okay.
Now,
Yes.
next is the dark reaction. In dark reaction, CO2 is converted into C6H12O6, and this hydrogen is coming from the light reaction. See, we have carbon, we have oxygen. The only thing required here is hydrogen, and that hydrogen comes from the light reaction. Remember, water was getting broken into proton,
Yeah.
electron. Yeah, the same proton comes here and reduces the CO2. You know oxidation reduction?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Done.
Done.
Now here, let's go to the reaction again. CO2 plus H2O gives C6H12O6 plus oxygen plus water. I'm not balancing this because we don't require balancing here. Here, CO2 is getting reduced, right? By the addition
Yes.
of hydrogen, and H2O is getting oxidized. So reduction and oxidation both are present in the same reaction, and such reactions are known as
Redox reaction.
redox reactions. So this is an example of redox reaction, right? The photosynthesis.
Yes.
Where is she? She's just messaging, right? Switched off. Okay. Anyways, we will upload this thing. She can do it later. No,
You're not uploading it.
no, she just came back. Now,
Sir, you mentioned it's a redox reaction, but like, how is that important? I mean, it's just for knowledge, or it
just a
has
knowledge.
something
No,
some connection with future.
no, nothing.
Okay.
Maybe it will help you to annoy your teachers. That's it. Okay,
Sorry, sir. I'm extremely sorry.
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Now, in the grana, we find structures like this. We call them as pigment systems or photosystems. Pigment systems or photosystems. Anyways, this is PS. These PS will be present in the grana. That means they are responsible for light reaction, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, this area here, it will have a large number of molecules. Which molecule? Chlorophyll.
Um,
Chlorophyll molecules. We call them
it's
as,
filled only of chlorophyll.
yeah, chlorophyll A plus chlorophyll B. How many type of chlorophyll are there, by the way?
2.
No, A, B, C, D, E, and many. And there is some chlorophyll that is present in bacteria also. We call it as bacteriochlorophyll.
Okay.
Bacteriochlorophyll.
In
So
plants,
is
how
this
many
the
types of
structure of one
chlorophyll?
thylakoid?
No, this is not thylakoid. Inside the thylakoids, we have such structures. We call them as photosystems or pigment system.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Hmm.
how many types of chlorophyll is present in a plant? Only 2.
Yeah, only 2 are present here. And this area here that has chlorophyll A and B, it has other molecules also like xanthophylls, carotenoids, but not in your class. Okay. So this area here, we call it as light harvesting complex. Light harvesting complex, LHC.
So, the whole of the chlorophyll area, or
Now only the chlorophyll area. And this thing in
okay.
the center here, this thing, we call this as a reaction center. Reaction center. So this in the center is the reaction center, and outside the reaction center, the area is known as light harvesting complex, because as the name suggests, it will harvest the light from the sun. It will trap the light from the sun, right?
Right.
You are taking screenshots, or you are writing everything?
Writing.
Writing.
Have you written?
Yes, sir. It's over.
Yes.
More fast than me, right? Now, in the light harvesting complex, when light is there, so this light trapped here, it harvests the light and passes it to the center. That means where will be the light going finally? To the
Reaction center.
reaction center. That means there is something going to be, there is something that will happen. Before
Some
this,
reaction.
before this, you should know that there are 2 types of pigment systems. And the reaction center is always named by the term P. P stands for photopigment. And what is in the reaction center is the photopigment. And photopigment is nothing but a modified form of chlorophyll A. Modified form of chlorophyll A. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are having 2 pigment systems, PS1 and PS2. PS1 and
PS2.
PS2. Got it?
One captures 680 nanometer wavelength light, and
Yeah.
another
Another one
is for
700. Who told
700.
you that? Who told you that?
I read it.
Oh. Now, see, the one where the reaction will start, that is PS 1 or 2?
1.
1.
No,
Oops.
you are wrong.
Oh.
and another one is PS1. The reaction center here is known as P680, and the reaction center here is known as P700. 680 and 700 represents the wavelength of light that it can absorb. So it can absorb the light up to the wavelength of 680 nanometer, and it will absorb light up to the length of the
Sir, is it up to or only that particular wave?
up to there is like a certain the visible light on the spectrum, it has certain like uh, ends, no, from this nanometer to this
Yes, sir,
nanometer.
400 to 700.
Yeah, so before 400 no form of light will be absorbed. Now that is, I think, infrared or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is not going to absorb infrared. It is only going to absorb
Okay, so
the
from
light.
400 to 680, everything the first can absorb. From 400 to 700 or from 680 to 700,
Correct,
yes,
correct, correct.
I think infrared comes after 700.
That is the
yes,
physics
sir,
problem.
UV comes before.
That's not my problem.
Yes.
That's the problem of your physics teacher. I don't remember the name. Joydeep.
So that's chemistry. Physics is Ravi Kumar, sir.
Sorry, it has been a year.
Sir, you remember you had a fight with Joydeep, sir. Like not exactly a fight, a tug of war kind of.
Who
Like
takes
who's
class?
going to
Who
end
takes
his
class
class
for the
later?
longer time?
Yes.
It's childish terms. Now, what happens here is in the reaction center first. Sorry, second. When the sunlight hits here.
Sir, sorry for disturbing, but Anaga has left the meeting because she has another class.
Oh,
I'll
that's
send her
fine.
the notes and tell her what happened.
That's fine. That's completely fine. See, when sunlight hits pigment system second. Now, as I told you, chlorophyll is a light sensitive molecule. So in response to this, electron gets excited. An electron or some electrons get excited from the reaction center of pigment system 1. Now, if an electron is getting excited, what does the electron has?
Negative charge.
Energy.
Energy.
Right. So here at the excited stage, it has energy. And
yes,
to replace this electron, there is photolysis of water. The water molecule breaks. Okay. The proton, the electron. Okay. These electrons will replace the electrons that are excited by the pigment system second. Got it?
Sir, photolysis is basically electrolysis, but instead of that electric charge, there is sunlight being used as the energy.
Right. Correct. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now, if this electron is left like this, it will simply loses energy and fall down, correct?
Yes.
But what if we don't let it to release its energy, to lose its energy? We will carry it back by means of some molecules. Some molecules will carry it. If some molecules carry
yes,
it,
sir.
they can store its energy. Its energy will not be lost. See, if you go and run like 1 kilometer, your energy will be lost, right?
Yes, sir.
If someone carries you on the back or on the back of the bike and travels 1 kilometer, your energy is there only, it will not be there, or you will lose energy
It
very
will be
slowly,
there.
right?
Yeah, very slowly. We'll
So
have
there
it.
are some molecules that carry this electron. The first one is pheophytin. Pheophytin. After pheophytin, there is one more known as plastoquinone. Plastoquinone. And after plastoquinone, it goes to a complex called cytochrome BF complex. Now this electron has energy, right?
Yes.
Now this energy at this stage is utilized by this complex for the process of production of ATP. You know the ATP, ADP plus IP, they will come here, they will grab this energy and they will form ATP. That means this energy from the electron is used to synthesize ATP.
Okay.
Right? Now,
Yes, sir.
now this molecule is without energy. Now this electron is without energy, right?
Yes.
This electron is now taken by plastocyanin and put inside the pigment system first.
1.
Now pigment system 1 is also getting energy from sun, right?
Yes, sir. So it must also lose.
So it will also liberate an electron, and that electron is replaced by this electron coming from PS2. And this electron was
Sir,
replaced
but
by water.
sir, but one question. Here, this electron does not have any energy or no charge.
Hmm.
So how can it actually replace that electron which had energy?
Because the energy is coming from the sun. This PS2 has
Okay, understood.
energy coming from the sun, and that energy is making the electron to excite.
Yes, sir.
And this electron is replaced by the electron coming from PS second. We don't have to replace the energy because energy is coming from sun. We just have to replace the electron. In the same way, this electron was replacing the first. Same electron from the water did not had any energy, right?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Got it. Now you have to remember one thing here. The production of ATP, we call it as, the production of ATP is known as,
Respiration.
oh, the joining of ATP and IP, that is not respiration.
So you had told the name. I forgot. In mitochondria, when we were studying, you had told us the name.
Oxphos reaction, right? The oxidative
Yes.
phosphorylation. The term was phosphorylation.
Phosphorylation.
Rylation,
Yes,
huh?
rylation.
So here the ATP was generated by the energy from the sun. So we call it as photophosphorylation. Photophosphorylation, right?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Photo because the energy is coming from the sun, and there in mitochondria
Sun.
we call it as oxidative phosphorylation because the energy is coming from oxidation.
Yes.
Now this was pigment system second. From here electron was getting excited, this and that getting carried away, coming here, and now here one more electron gets excited, right?
Yes, sir.
This electron is received by ferredoxin. So this is the primary electron receptor. But when we say primary electron receptor in the pigment system second, it will be pheophytin. Here it is ferredoxin.
Yes, sir. Primary, the first one.
Now, this electron's energy is utilized here. For what? Here protons
Are
were
doing
also
ATP
produced.
synthesis?
Here protons were also produced, right?
Yes.
When water was broken.
Yes, sir.
Now this proton and this electron, they can form hydrogen, right?
Yes, sir.
And that hydrogen is bound to a molecule called NADP. So NADP plus H, or many times H, it will form NADPH. So this energy from
Sir,
electron is utilized to combine hydrogen with the NADP to form NADPH. Now, why are we forming this NADPH? That I'm going to tell you. But did you understood this
sir,
process?
ferredoxin is also called primary.
Electron receptor.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
So this NADPH, what it is doing? This was light reaction. Light reaction. From light reaction, hydrogen has to go to dark reaction in order to convert CO2 into C6H12O6. Right? But who will bring this hydrogen is NADP molecule. NADP molecule, after combining with H, becomes NADPH or NADPH2. Depends upon how many hydrogen it is carrying. And then it liberates this hydrogen here for the reduction of CO2.
Okay, understood.
So NADP stands for nicotinamide, adenosine dinucleotide phosphate. Nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide phosphate. What it does, it simply takes the hydrogen from light reaction and places it in the dark reaction so that reduction of CO2 will be possible.
Sir, what does adenosine actually mean?
Adenosine means adenine plus the sugar molecule, the ribose.
Okay. Because ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate, and this is
Here we are having
nicot.
adenine plus sugar plus 3-phosphate.
Yes, sir. Sir, also could you spell what D stands for?
What?
Like in NADP, D stands for?
D.
Yes.
Dinucleotide.
Yes, dinucleotide.
Dinucleotide. Sorry, my writing is a bit messy.
No, sir, I just wanted to listen to it.
Now, see, this reaction here is in the form of again. This reaction is in the form of a Z, right? So we also call it as Z
Yes.
reaction. We also call it as
Z reaction.
Z
So
reaction.
just because of the direction.
Yeah. Now here ATP formation was taking place, right?
Yes, sir.
So this type of ATP formation where no cycle like